So there's growing speculation that Governor JB Pritzker is possibly seeking or exploring a potential bid to the White House in 2024. And this is raising, of course, speculation that it would eat into a second term, possibly, if he was to get reelected as governor of Illinois. But the governor is going to be traveling later this week to the East Coast. His office has said that they're looking to try to convince the Democratic National Committee to move their convention in 2024 to Chicago, where it's been historically, last I checked, 11 different times since like the 1830s or something like that. So you've got this bid to bring the DNC to Chicago, and it's one of those deals where, the last few times that it's been in Chicago, been all right. 1996 was the last time, but if you remember back in 1968, you had violent clashes between Vietnam War protesters and Chicago police. So that's one reason why the governor is going over to try to convince the DNC to bring the convention to Chicago. But he's also going to be going to some other states like New Hampshire or Maine to ultimately pitch for other Democratic governors, he says. And we'll hear from the governor here in a moment, but you got to think about what's behind this, because you've got a president who's already there, right? A president who apparently got the most votes ever from any kind of particular presidential run before. Joe Biden's in office right now. But some people not really buying that Joe Biden is going to be the main guy come 2024, even though President Biden has indicated he does look to run for re-election. And you've got these the growing questions about Biden and whether he's fit for being the president. And this was actually from CNN just the other day, where you had Don Lemon asking the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, about President Biden's fitness for office. Here's what he had to say on CNN when interviewing the White House press secretary.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. I can't even keep up with it. We just got back from New Mexico. We just got back from California. That is not a question that we should be even asking. Just look at the work that he does. Look how he's delivering for the American public. Look, that article that we're talking about is hearsay. It's salacious. That's not what we care about. We care about how are we going to deliver for the American people? How are we going to make their lives better? That's what the president talks about. That is his focus. And that's where we're going to continue to focus on.
So again, Don Lemon asking that question of the White House press secretary, and then he followed up on CNN the following morning to provide a little bit more context as to why he asked that particular question of the White House press secretary. And he says that, quite frankly, it's his job to ask those types of questions, and it's her job to answer these questions. And here he is on a CNN show yesterday morning, kind of putting broader context to what he had to ask of Karine Jean-Pierre, saying that these are questions that are on people's minds.
I didn't question whether I'm not being ageist in saying that the president of the United States is too old to be president. We can judge that. I think that's an individual thing, right? But I do think that as the president of the United States, we should know the health history, both physically and mentally, of the United States, the president of the United States. We certainly question the former president's capabilities and whether or not he should have the mental capacity, quite frankly, and the physical capacity to be the president of the United States. And we did it a lot. He had COVID. Can he physically be the president of the United States? It has been said even in these hearings that he is unhinged, that he is out of his mind because of what things that he was doing. Now, I'm not comparing the two men, but it is our job as journalists and as Americans to know the physical and mental capacity of the president of the United States.
So again, Don Lemon talking about how we have to ask these questions. He's saying it's on the other foot test, the shoe on the other foot. They did this with former President Trump Quite a bit, if you recall watching some of the corporate media from the past 4 or 5 years. So there's obvious questions about Joe Biden and whether or not he's going to be fit come 2024. But what that means is it's opening up the possibility of the field being open again for the Democrats. And who's going to run for that? Is it going to be Kamala Harris, the vice president? Is it going to be Pete Buttigieg, the transportation secretary? Or is it going to be somebody like Governor JB Pritzker? Again, yesterday, the governor held a unrelated news conference. And he was asked about his upcoming travels to the West Coast, to the East Coast rather, to attract the DNC. But he was also asked outright about whether or not he plans on running for president. Here is some of that from yesterday of the governor being asked if he's going to run for president of the United States. So here's that Q&A briefly from yesterday.
Well, let's start with the fact that Chicago is one of the greatest cities in the entire world. It's a place that many, many people come to visit because it's beautiful, because we have festivals here. This is the birthplace of gospel music. It's where Barack Obama is from. We have a lot to offer in Chicago. We've hosted Democratic conventions before. 1996 was fantastic. Anybody that was around for the Democratic convention knows that Chicago really showed off well to the entire nation. So we're going to do it again in 2024. I think that is what people are looking for, and I believe that we will win the competition among the cities to get the Democratic National Convention here. So it's funny that you're saying that, Marianne, because the truth is that I'm going to help other Democratic governors get elected in Massachusetts, in New Hampshire, in Maine, to help raise money, to help get the word out. These are pro-choice Democratic governors. It's the most important thing that we've got to deal with across the country that the Supreme Court is forcing us to deal with, and that is they're looking to overturn Roe v. Wade. The governors are the ones who are going to have power to make sure that we preserve reproductive rights for women and broadly rights that are going to be taken away as a result of their overturning of the right to privacy. So we need governors who are going to stand up for women, for the LGBTQ community, for all of us in our individual rights. I can't tell you anything other than I love the job that I have. It's why I'm running for re-election as governor of our state, and I intend to continue to do a good job for the people of the state for the next 4 years.
So again, that's Governor JB Pritzker being asked outright if he plans on running for president. We've still got a couple of years here, but it's never too early, I guess, to start talking about elections, even though we have yet to get through the midterm elections. But what could happen in 2024? Another governor was asked about whether he would run for president, and that was Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who was asked about support that he's going to get possibly from Elon Musk. Elon Musk earlier this week said he's leaning toward voting for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for president in 2024 and predicted a red wave for the coming 2022 election. This after Musk announced that he voted Republican for the first time for a congressional seat down in Texas where Mayra Flores won that seat and actually flipped from Democrat to Republican for that congressional district. He said, "I voted for Mayra Flores. First time I ever voted Republican," Musk said. Massive red wave in 2022. So DeSantis was asked about this yesterday, and something I think is kind of fascinating to hear ultimately, what his response is to whether he's going to get support from Elon Musk. Again, Elon Musk is, he's a billionaire. He's been thought to be the nation's and the world's richest man. But he also is somebody who's seeming to have changed his political stripes a bit, recently texting out to people via Twitter that he is no longer really considering himself a Democrat. He said the Democratic Party used to be the party of kindness, but now they're a party of hate and rage or something to that effect. Don't quote me specifically on what Musk said, but it was something to that effect. So he's been showing kind of a political evolution of sorts. But Ron DeSantis was asked yesterday about Elon Musk and possibly getting support for Elon Musk in the 2024 presidential election. Here's what Ron DeSantis' response was to that yesterday.
Elon Musk. So what I would say, I'm focused on 2022, but with Elon Musk, what I would say is, I welcome support from African Americans. What can I say?
So, of course, that statement has caused some ripples across the country with people criticizing DeSantis for saying that. But Musk is a native of South Africa, and he's an American. So people are justifying what Ron DeSantis had to say there. So maybe this is a preview of what's to come for the 2024 election, and we have yet to even get through the midterm 2022 election. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and